Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wisdom and Truth. Just shut this music. So I just want to I watched my other video from the other day. And that thing was deep. So I want to just elaborate more, talk more about like what I usually talk about, opposed to reading things and reading scriptures or whatever the case may be. Definitely look up useful charts. That's very good. Useful charts on YouTube. You'll see like genealogies and stuff of like all types of Egyptians, facts and stuff. You'll find out on these histories and stuff. And that's about it there. Okay, so time on. Okay, so first and foremost, peace be with you. If you came across this page, then maybe it's for a reason. Maybe you should listen up, because you might figure out something here, right? I'm not biased in any way. I don't see color. I don't see any type of title, so to speak. I look at everything as it's all a lie. And my hope, not even a hope, but what I know is that every lie, to the root of every lie, the bottom line of every lie is the truth, right? And even though you believe the lie is the truth, a lie is still a lie, but the truth stands alone. So keep that in mind. I don't accept things as truth. I'm looking for that stuff that stands alone. If it doesn't stand alone, then I can't go with it. It's as simple as that. To me, Buddha, Jesus, other philosophers and stuff throughout the times, I guess. Right? I see truth. What do I mean by truth that stands alone? So the truth of life, right? What is the purpose of life? What is your life for? Right? It's not what you think it is. I can tell you that much. It's not what you strive for. Definitely tell you that. There's no goals, no aspirations, or anything that you may be thinking like, oh, this is my life. No, it's not. Absolutely not. Right? And it kind of starts with our parents and how they raise us up. And then, if you're a parent, how you raise your kids up. And all throughout the generations, it's been like that. So it's been a kind of programming or training, in essence, of how the world wants you to be, opposed to who you truly are. Right? If you never heard it before, let me say this. You are relevant in life. Even in this mass amounts of people in the world, you're relevant. Yes, you, little old you, are relevant to everything, just as relevant as everyone else. So understand that, right? The problem with the world is like, I feel as though we're like superheroes that the world is trying to compress and keep us occupied with other things that suppress our abilities and our gifts, or misdirect us with our gifts to other places, right? So an example of that, of what I mean by that, is a person working for a pharmaceutical company and knowing the truth, right? I don't think you should take any medication that ain't 100%. That's just me. If I was diagnosed with anything, I would not take anything, and that's absolutely honest. I wouldn't take anything. I would just have to drop dead where I am, and that's bottom line, right? I believe in a creator. I believe the creator created us for more than what the world makes us think we're here for. I could see the whole Matrix effect. Like if you know the movie The Matrix, and you know people were just like in these sacks of energy pod things. I could see how that's absolutely true. I could see how that works, right? You give money power. If without you buying and selling with that money, it has no power. And if you don't understand that, then that's the basic breakdown of what everyone comprehends that aspect of what that function of that concept does. I actually, if you follow me, then I actually finally found a video that told me that agreed that Jesus didn't die for our sins. I finally found some videos on that. Like it took me probably hundreds of videos just to find this one. The one I found was pretty cool. It was like an older lady. She had to be in like her 60s or 70s. But she's still indoctrinated in essence. Because look, the truth is this, and this is like I can't get no like you may watch videos where I say something about the Old Testament, right? I'm most definitely going to talk about Jesus. You're going to see, you know, in past videos, you'll see me reading Nag Hammadi texts. You'll see me reading from the New Testament, right? Talking about Paul, talking about Thomas writings. You'll see me all in these areas. But they're all misleading directions to me, no matter what they are. There's truth within it, but the truth within it has to be discerned. How do you discern it? Because if it's not for the all, then it's irrelevant to the situation. If you know, that's like selfishness, right? If you're selfish, you want something more than someone else, right? That's why there's poor people in the world. That's why there's hungry people in the world. That's why there's homeless people in the world, when there's massive amounts of abandoned properties and homes that you can probably fit some homeless people in these areas. Okay, like there's definitely ghost towns in the desert. I know that for sure. I've seen them. So like, come on, man. You only need a basic necessity to survive, and that's pretty much what it's all about. It's either, what side are you going to choose? Are you choosing the side of life, or are you going to choose the side of what the world makes you think life is? Because that's a key. That's a relevant key on how you feel about that. Like, to free your mind is not a game, so to speak, right? Life is more of a game than freeing your mind is a game. What do I mean by that? Life is a game in the aspect of, if you played Monopoly, right? Board games aren't as popular as they used to be. And the ones that are popular now are like some other things, right? You get your phone, put it on your head, you're guessing a word or something. Who knows? But what built this country, so to speak, is the games of Monopoly, the game of life. Okay. If you're into like the world domination thing, the game of Risk, that was a popular game. Okay. Especially Monopoly and life. Even the other little games, it's only these things are just training you up into certain areas. That's why when you go to school, when you're in school, right? When you were in school, in elementary or whatever grade you were in, and you were coming up and you did something on assignment, and the teacher said you did it wrong. You got the right answer, but you did it wrong. Okay? You got the right answer, but you did it wrong. You mapped it out in the wrong way, and they looked at it and they said, "Oh no, you had to carry the one over here. You had to do this. You had to do these steps before you get to your problem." So even though you got the problem right, they're not asking you how you got to that problem, right? How did you get the solution to that without even doing it with our way? Maybe you have a way that maybe somebody we can bring into the program, and it might help everybody do it a little bit faster. Right. I went to elementary school in the 70s and 80s, graduated high school in the 90s. And especially in the 70s, 80s, I felt like school, when we learned math, they brought this dude in, and I'm pretty sure he had a PBS special or something. They brought this dude in that showed us how to do math in our head without even putting a pen to paper, like without little cheat sheets and stuff. Like, that's how they used to teach us back in the day. Nowadays, they're just giving you do mathematics, that their equation to mathematics, like just a simple addition is the same as multiplication. You got to put all these numbers. Like how that even become possible? I don't like, how do you change the game like that? And then they teach your kids to kind of like, you show them your easy way. What's up, Freedom Fighter? You show them your easy way and they're yelling at you. No, my teacher's going to fail me. And they're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. Okay. So you got to look at that. Like there's reasons for things, right? The education that we know of today is not as old as you think it is, right? I'll give it 300-400 years. And beyond that was teaching just in religious circles, right? That's why when they say people of Jesus' day was illiterate and stuff, how does that make sense when most of the people were Jewish and the Jewish kids know how to read and write? Like, at least their Jewish tradition, they knew how to read and write, just like a Muslim. A Muslim knows that Quran. Don't come like if you consider yourself a Muslim, but you don't know nothing, you know nothing of the native language of that Quran, boy. Don't go to Mecca trying to show some worship and talk that English stuff, because they are not accepting that. I'll tell you that. I don't think half the Muslims that claim to be Muslims know that. You might know your prayer, but you need to know that whole book in Aramaic, or Arabic. Either way. Right? Like people, like if you think we're the smartest thing that ever hit the man, I probably say this in every video. If you think you're the smartest person, or we're the smartest people group of all time, and because of our science, our education, our scholars, and all these ologians and anything, right? You think we're better off now than we were back in the day? You are tripping out, right? We're in a world of like the animal kingdom. We should. That's a true statement. We should all know Arabic. Right, whatever religion is anyone's claiming, we should know the root of it all. If the Old Testament is the truth, then we need the root. We don't need the English translation. The English translation. English is only 1,400 years old, and it comes from a Germanic background, an Anglo-Saxon background. Right, we don't even know the truth on ourselves. That's like, if you're a Bible thumper, you're a religious person, you believe in your sect and your group, then you gotta wake up to the fact that you don't even understand your own life you may understand what your book is saying. You may understand what your group is saying. You may understand your core values of your organization. But let me tell you, you don't even know the basic things in life. And that's it for sure. If you haven't studied yourself in life, just like frick, like, oh man, anything. Like you can't be half stepping in anything. You can't get in, like, and that's another human problem in essence, or American problem, I should say, because in America we're lazy as shit. You got people saying the immigrants are taking my jobs and this and that, when they don't want to do the work either. Ain't nobody trying to go do no landscaping. Get the fuck. Nobody's trying to do that. Listen, especially the people complaining about it. I'm not saying there ain't people that enjoy that shit. My brother does that. He does it for a living. He owns his own business, landscaping, so he loves that. I'm not going out there like that. Okay, I can't get naked enough in the heat. It's hot. It's too hot here now. It's like 90-something degrees out here still, or it might be 80, but still, I'm sweating now. ACs are on everywhere in here. But you can't get naked enough. That's why you might see me on like Life Below Zero one day, because I'd rather live in the cold. Plus, I just don't know if I could survive. That's my only problem with not going out there, is just because I don't know if I could kill any animal. Like I would definitely need a like a fruit tree or something, or learn leaves, because this is crazy. Yeah, Texas is too hot too. Texas. I lived in New Mexico for a year. Listen, it's too. I almost died out there. It was too hot. My nose kept bleeding every damn day. It was serious. I needed that humidity. I like Colorado though. Colorado is nice. Right. I'm working on a plan though. Hopefully the Father blesses me with the plan, because he put the plan in my head anyway. So we'll see where it goes. Don't let your boy get some property somewhere, because I'm just building it up. You can, if you're looking for a place to stay, you can definitely stay wherever I set up camp, because we're gonna have farm. We're gonna be self-sufficient like a mother. And that's my dream. That's my goal. That's how the world's supposed to be lived in the first place. So I'm down to do that. Like, I'm not a lazy dude. I'm ready to work. I'm just not working to make somebody else rich no more. I'm not working for the devil or the stepdaddy. I'm not working. I'm working for the Father and the Father alone. Wherever he takes me is where he takes me, and that's it. And wherever that goes, if it goes to dying of cancer, getting hit by a bus, dying right here from the heat, anything, it don't matter, right? If all you gotta do is reach out, I'll figure it out. The Father made other things possible in my life to make happen, so I'm pretty sure if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen regardless of the fact, right? Another step in freeing your mind is you just got to stop worrying about everything. Nothing matters, and that's honest. And that's even if you're into the Bible and stuff. That's what the God in the Bible is telling you. He's saying, hey man, don't go on your own strength. Only count on me. I'm the only one that can heal, right? Even Jesus says that only the Father heals. I'm just his vessel delivering the message. That's all he said. Jesus never claimed to be a God. Jesus never said, hey, pray in my name, pray that people come to know me. He didn't say, listen, I can't say that clear enough. Okay, he didn't come out like that. Definitely. And if you think he died on he died on the cross for your sins, then you're definitely tripping out, because he did not. How could he? And that's like, that's my new thing anyway. Like, how could he, if he knew he was going to die, he knew he was going to come back. So what was the incentive of even doing it? Oh, I'm going to get through this anyway. Let me go. That changes the whole scenario of why is he sweating blood in the garden? That doesn't even fit in the puzzle. Like, oh, well, he's sweating. He's stressed out. He's about to come back. No, he went on that cross. He went on that cross to prove to you that death was only an illusion. An illusion, right? And there's a veil that's separate, even though the veil is split, right? When he died on that cross, that veil was split. That means your eyes should have been open by hearing that situation or anything. Why? Because no matter what you believe in the story, it could be all bullshit. Honest to God, it could be all bullshit. We could come to find out that in the 3rd, 4th century, they manipulated the whole thing, right? We could find evidence on that one day, and all of a sudden the truth comes out, or the Vatican finally opens its vaults, and we get some true stuff that they found. Boom. Right? Just like in the video I did yesterday about that guy that went to the India, went to that monastery. He came back, wrote a book. He went to the church first, the cardinal at the church. Hey, man, I got this information about Jesus. And the cardinal was like, well, this will contradict everything we're talking about. So, of course, he's going to shut it down. And then you find out 20-something years later, all these other people figured out that he did go there, and he was legitimately there at this monastery. They did share this information with him, because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they share it? Right? It's a truth thing, right? The world's perception of different places and different people is the world's perception. Just like the title in the clip for the beginning of this video, right? The world we live in is only a world of perception. It's only what we perceive it as, right? Freeing your mind means there is no one that can bring you love at all, and that's honest. There's no, if you're looking at someone and you think, oh my God, I need that love, you're tripping out. You're in a different world. You're following some different type of belief, because that is not where you're supposed to be going on that level, right? It's the concept of, if you love it, you let it go, it'll be back. It's as simple as that. Any pet I've ever had or anything like that, especially as an adult, if I let the animal out, I'm not leashing up an animal. That's not, like, I'm not saying I never walked the dog on a leash. I'm just saying I don't want to be pulled. Like, I ain't got time for all that, right? And then I feel bad because I'm like, come on, man, because I'm in a rush, and now I'm rushing him. He's trying to take a piss or something. Like, I ain't got time for that, right? No leash. As long as you listen when we need to go, that's all I need to do. That's it. And if you don't want to fight, then you got to go to somebody else. I can't. We're not playing this game. I'm not playing this game, right? Got a cat right now. The cat leaves. He chills out. He comes back. He's back. That's it. If there's more than I got to do than that, then something's wrong. Right? That animal's disadvantaged, because if the animal can be left by itself, and then what? And then we're cruel as people. The shelter gets them, and they kill them, and all this other stuff goes on. Then you got people fighting for those rights for those animals, opposed to the cows. Or like, isn't it the same? That's the perception of the world. We think. See, it's almost like the way they perceive Jesus, and what the church, how they say he died for our sins. If it wasn't for him, like there's Christianity or some sects of Christianity, if it wasn't for the resurrection, they wouldn't be here. They would have nothing to believe in. If it wasn't that Jesus went on the cross, they would have nothing to believe in. That makes no damn sense. Especially with the fact that, yes, okay, let's say he went to the cross or he got his ass whooped before, he went to the cross and he came back. That should give you more than like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for, like, honestly, in my life, I'm looking for, as a child, everyone is kind of scared of death. We don't know what the hell that is. What do you mean I die? Right? And then you have a relative that passes away. Maybe they're older relatives, so you understand it differently. You're like, oh, they were old, right? And everybody around you is understanding it differently. Oh, yeah, it was their time. But then when a younger person dies or a friend or something, you're like, what just happened here? Is it my time soon? What the hell? Right? That goes through your mind, right? All I need is kind of there's life after death, so to speak. Just like if you know, if I am following the Yahweh, the God of the Bible, and it's okay to kill, then why am I just sitting here while evil's just going on, right? Why are any of us that have a positive heart, that want to be like, you know, the good on the good side of things, why are we not out here eliminating evil? The police aren't doing it. The government isn't doing it. It's more to a balance of a budget to them. Because without crime, there'll be no need for any of it. Without chaos, without, you know, upright, without any of that, there's no need for this entity to rule you, that you give authority to rule you in the first place. That's a free your mind statement. You got to realize you're being controlled. You got to realize what the true definition of a matrix is a mental prison. Right? And if you're looking for someone on the outside, something on the outside to bring you love, bring you happiness, bring you joy, bring you this, bring you that, you are tripping. If you're that person that's like, I'm playing the lottery because $1 in a dream, they got you hustled with their slogan. $1 in a dream. They got you hustled with their slogan. $1 in a dream, $1 in a dream. How many people win the lottery? Right? And then most of the time it's all small change. If you really did the math on it, like, because I got friends that hit on scratch offs and stuff. My grandparents, they used to hit the picket and stuff. All they pick three, all that stuff. They used to hit that stuff all the time. I guess they had a little game going. I don't know. Maybe they figured out a mathematics something, because it's all mathematics. Sooner you can figure it out. It ain't like you can't. Right? It's illegal for you to go to a casino and count cards playing blackjack, which is crazy, because if you got that much skill, why not? Right? It ain't like, listen, if you think a casino is straightforward and it's right, you know, it's on point and it's not crooked, you are crooked thinking, because there's no way for a casino to survive if everyone came in there to be winners. So there's got to be a guarantee that everyone's going to lose. If there's no guarantee that there's at least a percentage of something losing, what's the point of making the business? People act like all you got to do is watch an episode of freaking Shark Tank, and you'll see how the world is absolutely ran. Period. Right? They come on, hey, we make this and that, and how much it cost you to make? It cost me 50 cents. How much you sell it for? $16.90. Yeah, we're on that. Hey, how much it cost you to make? $40. How much you selling it for? $59.90. Yeah. Right? It's the percentages. If the percentage is a good percentage where there's going to be some profit made, I'm in. If there's no percentage that's going to be made, they're most likely not in. Right? And that's the messed up thing in the world. Right? What are we actually looking for? What is the end game of the end game? Right? And to free your mind, you got to forget about this whole game. I said it, I was saying it the other day. Like I misspoke when I said people that are seeking truth is that bottom 1%. And that's wrong. Right? Why is that wrong? Because that top 1% is right. Yes, the richest and the ones that control things. And then you got your middle 98% that's like all over the place, right? You got your suburbanites, you got your middle class, upper class, lower class. You got all these different categories in the 98%. Then you have that lower 1%. Not that lower, defines that 1%, but that 1% is almost similar to the 1% on top, right? The 1% on the bottom does have money. They do have occupation. They make currency. And it's almost like looking at the concept of good guys versus villains, right? Superheroes versus villains, the Avengers versus whoever's attacking the world at the time, right? But even the good guys cause destruction. So that 1%, even though they have good intent, they're doing evil, calling it good. And the biggest deception is they're not recognizing it. Right? They're fighting the war with the war. They're fighting they're seeking peace with only violence. And that's that 1%. Where I stand now is 0%. I'm in the 0 percentile. Why? Because I want no part of anything here. If it doesn't have to do with somebody getting some food, somebody getting some shelter, and somebody being okay today, then I don't want no part of it. And that's simple. And that's the world. The world wants no part of that either. Because if it did, our systems in the world will be differently driven. But they're not. You look at Red Cross statistics, because it's got to be public information. And what they do have of public information for them, you find out their CEOs, they're making 6 figures. This is supposed to be the Red Cross. That's supposed to be helping people. You find out that I'll give them a minimum, like 15%. That's what they're giving back to the community. That makes no damn sense. Right? And it's not just them. It's everything. Right? It's moms against drunk driving, dads against drunk driving, moms against pedophiles, dads against pedophiles, gays against pedophiles, blacks against, like, it don't even matter. Right? Once you start fighting the fight in the enemy's fight, the enemy already won. Right? It don't matter if you had a red coat or a blue coat. If you're sitting there packing your gun, looking at either coat, you lost. And especially in that time, you definitely lost. It's America versus America, so to speak. Like, how is that even right? That don't make sense. We're killing each other for what? For what reason are we killing each other? And yeah, racism, this, that, and other thing, right? But then you even got blacks fighting in the war too, and then the white people still ignorant. If the Glory movie has any credibility on historical concepts, then, you know, if you saw the Glory movie is a good damn movie. And it's a movie that has a father message, right? Even though there's war and stuff, it's the relationships that were gained in that, right? Just like the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson, right? There was that one white dude that didn't really like the black slave guy. It's like, oh, you're gonna fight with us, right? And then at the end of the day, black guy saved white guy. Oh my God, Johnny! He's all over black guy. This is his best friend, right? He realized the color, the veil has been split in his eyes. Right? The veil's going to split for you. Once you realize truth, and that's what you're truly seeking, no matter what the consequence of that truth, right? You can't be like, all right, I'm going to follow truth. And then go, like, let's say you're a Muslim and you get it, you know, you all of a sudden you get into a Christianity atmosphere, and next thing you know, you become Christian. So now you just gave up one vice for another vice. That's almost like an addiction, right? You give up, let's say you never smoked a cigarette, but you're giving up drinking, and now you started, because everybody at an AA or NA is smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, right? So you just take that one addiction and bring it to another addiction, right? Everyone, we're all born with some type of something that's trying to tempt us away from ourselves, right? And the truth of the matter is, it's just yourself trying to trick yourself. Right? If you don't understand that listen, let's say the Trinity is real. Christianity's Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't truly believe it. Why? Because it's only preached in verses, literally like 2 verses in the whole damn Bible. So it's just like the rapture. If you think there's like so much information on this rapture, and Jesus talked about a rapture, Jesus didn't say that at all. Absolutely not. No, he did not. No, that was a Paul saying. That's what Paul said, right? Jesus said something, and not even in reference to it, because you really gotta pay attention to the story, right? That's what the book is to me. It's just a story, right? And within the story, and all life is, listen, there's an Adam and Eve story, and almost and I'm still working on that video, but there's a creation Adam and Eve story almost in every concept of life. So look, even with science, right? Science is called the atom. There's other things that are biblical in science, right? The brain, you look at the brain and just Google it. Brain. What's the name of the parts in the brain? You're going to see tree of life. You're going to see references of like, this is the middle way. Okay. Right? To truly free your mind, you got to realize there is no good and evil. There's only error. Right? And if we live again, right? If this is not it, right? Our concept of life right now is that it ends. right? And then it's even crazier because it ends and people still live in a way of like, oh my God, I got to live it up, or, live in a way like they're going to see tomorrow, right? People making retirement plans and this, that, and the third for what though? Just to keep the money flowing? Because that's pretty much what all it is. It's just to keep that money flowing, right? And then what if everybody dies in the family? Who gets the money then? The bank that signed the check in the first place? Come on. Right? These are Jesus said, let the dead bury their own dead. People claim I'm following Jesus. The Bible is the word of God. It says that there, but yet you're still mourning and crying and having your church right next to a cemetery. That makes no sense. Right? And why is there even a cemetery in the first place? Right? To the ashes and the dust would go back. I don't even understand. Right? Burn me, cremate me, blow me in the wind or something. I don't even care. Throw me in the garbage bag. Like, this body's done. I'm done with this. I'm out. I'm going to get the new body. I'm out of here. Okay, I'm done. And that's truly freeing your mind. Hey, cool. All right. In the Matrix, when he freed his mind, he was eating some oatmeal stuff. I'm down with that all day. All fine. Tell me whatever I could eat that's like oatmeal that I could eat every day and not have to worry about eating anything else. And I would do it for sure. I would definitely do it. And then I got to figure out a natural way to make it if I ever get in the woods or something. And then I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Like freeing your mind and living for the truth. Only few find it. Right? That's why, listen, Jesus is the man. Okay, if Jesus was a musician, he would be the top rapper in the world because he's the man. Because he said things like that. We just like the concept just isn't perceived like that because preachers preach it in a different way. Right, or just in anything, right? Buddha said the same things as Jesus. Buddha done left his family and everything. Was like, dude, this ain't working out for me. I got to figure this out. He saw people suffering. He said, why am I not suffering? Right, and I'm so high and mighty because he was a prince, and all these other things, all these other people outside in his kingdom, outside his kingdom, in the streets is just suffering. So he went out and said, let me figure this out. And he brought some change to his little crew over there. He brought some change. He made things happen, man. It's just that the world, just like I tell you, you look on Snapchat, and just so you're clear, you look on Snapchat, you go to your profile, it'll show you something, you go to your location thing, you're going to see a map, and if you're already on there and your location's on with a couple friends, you're going to see you and your friends, just zoom out, you're going to see the whole world, and just go to listen, pop on places that you think, or pop on places that someone told you it's just messed up over there. It's messed up. It's poor. There's people dying of diseases. And just click over there. War. There's a war over there. Click on over there. Let me click over here in Afghanistan or something. Let me click over, and you're gonna see. I was just watching this Muslim girl I follow on Instagram. She's always in a nice car, by the way. Always in like a 6-figure car. Okay, a McLaren I seen her in, like the top Rolls Royces and stuff. And then I saw a video she just posted today, and she's driving through a city. I thought she was in like Brooklyn or something. And she's over there in the Middle East. Right? It's not what they make you think it is. That's like just looking the most simplest thing that you think like, yo, this is true. I know this is true. Let me go look at it. And go deep to it. Go deep to it. Just like there's not one thing that I haven't found. There's not one thing that I have found on anything from ancient times that archaeology has found to kind of confirm, right? And you tell this by the way they date things, and by everyone in that group and that profession is dating these things. You can't just go by one, just like with the coronavirus, right? There's three different, with the CDC, the FD, something, all these organizations that's supposed to have this disease control thing, and 3 different people that are supposed to be the main people have 3 different numbers of what's going on in the world. That's the same thing with anything else. Okay, you got to understand carbon dating, even the distance from Earth to the sun and stuff. These are all guesstimate things. Right, you got people looking through telescopes telling you that planets are full of gas. Looking in a telescope, how do you even know? And then you're probably going to say, well, they sent up rovers. How do you know they did that either? Unless you listen, I don't know if you watched the SpaceX thing when like SpaceX got big and they shot the rockets, and then the camera view was of one rocket, but it was showing both rockets, so to speak. Right, it was only one. The camera views on both monitors was only the one. The other one whatever happened. I don't even know. Something's always happening. When they put the car in space, did the car do anything? Did the windows fog up? Did the mirrors fog? Did you see anything? Right? They got such close. Oh, well, we had to put the camera attached to the car. But when you do it in the movies, you got broad widescreen out this mother header, right? You got the widescreen view, right? I see Vin Diesel jumping a car over this building while Jason Stamos is under here driving under the tunnel. But you can't get me a wider view from this car you put in space so I can see what's really going on up here. There's a reason for that. Right? It's already proven in the NASA world that they have to manipulate the photos that they claim are of planet Earth because the color up there isn't the same color down. What the hell are you talking about? How can it be even any different? Right? These are things we don't catch on to. Why? Because we're not in those professions. And then they have these schoolings that say if you didn't go to this school, then you're not that professional. Right? I'm no professional. I'm not a historian, a theologian. I'm just this regular guy. That's it. I'm a regular guy, right? And I'm a regular guy that could probably make six figures because I've done a lot of things. And my resume would most likely get me six figures somewhere. But I'd rather be on the low of the low, right? I believe when Jesus said to be the top up there or to be the top in the kingdom of the Father, you got to be the least down here. I'm the least down here all day, every day. Why? And even if I had anything, okay, like, and I haven't always been like this in my life. There was times that I was just for the job and for how much money I was making and stuff. That's all of us. We get caught up in that scheme of things because that's what everybody else is doing around us. There's no one different. Everyone's looking for a job. Everyone's looking for a good salary. Everyone's looking for a nice house. Everyone's looking just to survive, so to speak. But in essence, are we? Because to really survive, you don't need much. And that's the truth. It's all the extras that you want in life is the much. It's the car payment. And then you had to get the newer car because, I've always been used cars and they're always breaking down. You know what? I deserve to have a brand new $40,000 car when it's all said and done after all the interest and stuff, especially if it was only marketed down for like $25,000. You're spending that, right? Just like a house. You get a 30-year mortgage. Come on. You got to open up your eyes to the whole situation. Because let me tell you something, you're not paying attention, right? Even if you're an insurance broker, if you're a police officer, if you're whatever profession you're in, there's some type of bullshit to it. Especially if you're in the medical field, there's so much. That's why they call it a practice. And that's why most of the time when the doctor messes up, they'll never admit they messed up. Ever. They'll tell you 6 other things that possibly could have went wrong, and we can't determine which one is it. And you can tell me all the no, that's not. These are doctors. They care about our lives. First of all, check out their oath that they take. Okay, first and foremost, check out the oath that they take. That oath that they take. Do the research on it. When you do the research on it, you're gonna find out it comes from Roman gods. Whoo! And the oath ain't even what they standing for. They're standing for something else with that oath. So look into that oath. If you think a doctor's got your best interest in mind, and I'm not saying there's not some out there. I'm not saying that. Okay? There's a whole bunch of people out there with good hearts, with good intentions. Okay, but then listen, just like any politician, anyone that really wants to make a change, and as a child, they're growing up and I'm like, yes, I'm going to be the president and I'm going to change the world. Right? They're doing this and they got this aspiration and they got this drive and they got these goals set and they make it. And then they find out from the first guy they talk to, things just don't go like that here. There's the process and you got to go through this and that and then rearrange it around this way. Right? It's just like immigration laws. These are like one of the, always look at election times, especially presidential elections, and what they're talking about. Every time they're talking about healthcare, every time they're talking about immigration, every time they're talking about some type of race equality, it's always the same damn topics. It's never anything different. It's always the same topics, but no one's paying attention. Right? All the presidents, so one president to get heat for banning all these Muslim countries, but every president has done it since Daddy Bush, and probably before that. But I know for sure since Daddy Bush, they've been banning these Muslim countries or whatever they were doing with traveling bans. And every president done it since him. So what is the difference if another president takes the seat and now he's under that? That don't make no freaking sense. And now we're mad at him. They've been doing it, right? One of the best presidents of our era is Obama, and he did it too. And then he's the best president, but yet, like I always say, he made us into car insurance. Now, if you don't have medical insurance, you do your taxes. Next thing you know, they're taking out a penalty because you didn't have health insurance. And that, to me, that's just making us like cars. Now they just made us a part of that budget. So now every American is required to have health care. And if you don't have it, now you get penalized. So that's other money that's unaccountable for at the end of every year that they just take in. And then they don't tell us about that money. How much did you collect on that? Right? How much did you take from the lotteries? How much? And then they always crying broke. We don't have enough for schooling. We don't have enough for this. What they don't have enough for is paying people more. That's all it is. And more importantly, keeping their pockets fat. Right? We have politicians that make 6 figures a year when the average person in America is making barely $20,000 a year. Barely. Right now, minimum wages is going up and stuff, so that'll put you in like the $25,000, $30,000 a year category, which now it takes you 2 people to run a household when the ideal of a family is to be the man works, the mom stays home, takes care of the kids, and does the housekeeping thing, right? Not saying, listen, I'm not being chauvinistic or anything. I'm just saying how it could be the woman. Listen, I don't mind staying at home, and my woman can go work, and I'll take care of the kids and clean the house. I'll do it. I have no problem with that. But our world ain't even set up for that, right? You need 2 incomes to come into the household. And then they tell you the medium incomes, the medium household income average is 70,000. You're like, what the hell? I only make $15 an hour. The hell is this? But they add it together. It's just almost like when you get a job and they give you a percentage raise and they break it down into the yearly fashion. And it looks like it's like a good amount. Like, damn, I'm getting like $2,000. And then when they break that thing down to you, man, that's why they don't give you that. Oh, we're gonna just raise you this month. They don't tell you that. They give you that salary breakdown, and you think you're like, yeah, you're banking, but you're really not. It's almost like the stimulus check, right? They give you a stimulus check, do the math on how long it took them to give you a different one, how much your rent is, how many is your bills, and what did that check really do for you? Like nothing at all, right? Yeah, mothers would definitely should be commended for raising kids. And look, and even if you're that mother that doesn't have that father in their life, listen, do you strongly. Okay? My mom did it strongly. Right? You can't blame nobody else for anything that happens in your life. You made the same mistake too by getting with them in essence. Right? Or vice versa, because there's guys, big up to the guys out there that definitely do it for their kids. Right? So keep that in mind, because it starts with you anyway. Right? It starts with us. It starts with the now. Right? It's no yesterday or tomorrow. It's all about now. And what are you going to do now? Right? Every day is the first and last day of your life. You just don't recognize that. Especially if you close your eyes and go to sleep and don't have a dream. Right? Where were you for that time? In essence, where were you mentally, so to speak? Right? Physically, you're tired. Yeah, that's why your body got to go to sleep. But mentally, where were you? Right? You don't know. That could have been what God means by death. And then one day there's going to be a day that you just don't wake up. Right? So that means you got one from when you wake up to when you go back to sleep to make it right every day to make it right. Right? I'm not telling you to make a list and find out all the people you messed up on in life and then go run and do that list every day. No. You let the past be in the past, right? And just keep moving forward. And if you run into those said people again, then that means the Father's putting it in your face. Here you go, man. Straighten this out for me. Right? And more importantly, straighten it out for yourself. Because why you even got this bad blood? Y'all used to be so close. Right? You let this get between you or that get between you. Come on, man. Right? And relationships, I had girlfriends in the past that hooked up with some of my friends. What am I supposed to do? And I can't, what am I going to get mad? No, thank God I've always been that kid that's just like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. What am I going to do? Right? Listen, I wouldn't be where I am today. More importantly, mentally, from all the stuff I went through in past relationships, right? I wouldn't be where I am today if any of those was truly my love of my life. I love you. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. Because I've said that, right? And if you've been in mad relationships, you've said it too. You said, I love yous. You said, there's no one else but you. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're the most beautiful woman in the world. You're the most handsomest guy in the world. You did all these things, did all that. Okay. And now you're with someone totally different than the first person you ever told that to. Right? What does that tell you? Truth tells you that, you know what? What's meant to be is meant to be. And truth tells you, why hold a grudge, a resentment, or, you know, what they call it. Now you're on that rebound level, right? Because what you do is, if you hold that animosity, if you hold that, like, all your emotions and yes, it was all dedicated into that relationship. True. But you put it in that relationship. And hold on. Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to put that in the relationship. That's who you are. So if that's who you are, of course you're going to give what you're going to give. And that, if you're that type of person that gives your all, you're going to give your all. Okay. And if you got the other person that's, you know, it doesn't seem like they're giving their all, how do you even know? And most of the time we just catch the grudges in our mind and we don't really say nothing. And I'm not going to, you know, it's so stupid, I'm not going to say nothing. You just keep it to yourself until it blows up one day. And now it's a whole different situation, right? And it done blew up. Now it's a whole different situation. Now you're beefing, and now for the next 6 months, year, whatever, it's hell for the next few years until y'all split up and y'all figure it out, or maybe y'all work it out. Like, sometimes that happens. You work it out. You realize your faults. You realize this was a mistake, right? Just like I say, true love is thinking. Listen, you got to think the worst. If you're the person you're in love with and you're in that relationship with, and they get in a severe car accident and they lose half their face, are you still going to love them? If they're paralyzed, are you going to still love them? Are you still going to stick by their side through death, through sickness, through health? Like, are you going to be there? Because that's true love. If any of that was, oh, I don't know if I could be with a half a face, that's on you. And then that's all false. You were all false in that situation. Of course, we want things. We want anything that looks appealing to the eye, right? You see a beautiful person or anything, like, you can, because there's, you know, you can be one of those people that think people are ugly, but then you're like, damn, how they get with that person? And because the beauty is definitely by truth in the eyes of the beholder. That's 100% truth. The beauty is in your eyes, right? And everyone's beautiful to me, right? And I used to be one of those guys that maybe said that somebody was ugly or something, but everyone's beautiful to me now, all day. And I think pretty much they were always, but for sure now, everyone's beautiful to me. I don't care who you are, right? I don't even see ugliness, right? That's freeing your mind. You don't see ugliness. You don't see color. You know, you see the insides of people, and you see the insides. You see who they truly are if you know how to look. If you know how to look, and the only way you can look is by freeing your mind, because your mind's locked into a mental prison. What does that mean? That means you're mentally in prison for how you think life should be lived, or what you think. What's a good word? Has to be lived, right? Because you got those people that are like, well, life sucks and then you die, right? So what you think life is to be lived, working your life away until you get old and gray, retire, maybe have a nice little pension or retirement fund saved up, and maybe enjoy your life, right? And then when you really look at it, you take a yearly vacation with your family. Sometimes it ain't really a vacation, right? You're spending more money than you would spend in a month, right? You're spending like 3 mortgages in a row just to go on this vacation, go rent this house for a month for like $6,000, right? Like there's all types. Like, if you really do the math and think about it, right? I'd rather make me a little paradise in my backyard than go to Disney. And that's honest, right? I've been there. I ain't one for long lines and crowds. You know, I don't mind a crowd, but I ain't in for long lines like that. I think it's a sucker move, right? We're just, oh my God. And we're just suckers into it. And then the suckerness just keep going. And we make these things rich, these entities, these governments, these businesses, and they become rich. And then we're mad because they own the rest of the whole world. And we're like, why can't we do this? Because they own it, and you can't have it unless you give them what they want. That's slavery, right? You can listen, to free your mind is truly a life awakening thing. And like I said, you got to free it to what you think life is and how it should be lived. You got to free it in the concept to understand that everything that money is attached to gives money authority over everything else. So what do I mean by that? People are going hungry because they have no money. People have no place to live because they have no money. People are dying from diseases and cancers and need medical care, but they ain't got enough money, right? That's our world. If you ain't got enough money, right? Some people look at the homeless guy like, man, go get a job. I got a job. You go get a job. That's not the way we should be living. Because quite honestly, truth be told, there's not enough jobs in America for all the Americans that are able to work. Right? Just like the concept of immigration on a government voting standpoint of immigration, we're always trying to figure out a law we can make or do whatever, right? For all the illegal immigrants that are here. Hey, I tell you what, guys, why don't we just make them all legal? Because they're already here. They're already here. Most of them are great grandparents. So that's how long they've been here, right? We just make them legal. And now you just got whatever percent. If you're saying that, let's say 35% of the workforce and stuff in America is illegal immigrants, and it's unfair because they're not paying taxes. This and the third. If you make them legal, guess what? Now they're Joe Smo America. They're, like I said, they've already been here. So now what are you trying to do? Break up a family? Like, hey man, y'all gotta go back. They've been here for 30 years. The family's been here for 30 years, and you're trying to make some other law or some other stuff. Just make them legal. That's it. Bottom line, legal. Just like equality. If everybody's supposed to be equal, then there should be no law that needs to be voted. Hey, should we make these people? What the fuck are you talking about? Should we make these people legal? Right? There shouldn't be no discussion on a 13th Amendment. We need to free slaves. Why is there a slave in the first place? And if you watch the movie Lincoln, like, depicting that time and, the whole government thing and what they were discussing on the vote. And if there's some accuracy in it, even if there's not, you could definitely understand that it was like pretty much what it was in the movie. Right? There was some for it. There was some against it. Just like in the Harriet Tubman movie, when it was all about freeing the slaves, it was all about, oh my God, well, these slaves, right? That's going to be me losing $7,000. I'm keeping at least a slave baby. That's what the one mom was saying to the family that owned like Harriet Tubman's family, right? But look, just like I say, no one could be enslaved, but it's a choice that you get enslaved. And yes, there's situations where they may kill a whole civilization and keep the kids and enslave them, or they might, whatever the case may be. Yes, but there's one day. There's always going to be that day that group there's going to be a person that wakes up. Right, that's the whole message in the Bible and aspect, right? God said this was going to happen, or God said, "Oh, sin came into the world, and He's going to send a Messiah or a Savior or a message that we're going to see clear that we can get out of this place. We'll be done with this, right? And why would He not want us to eat from the tree of good and evil? He didn't want robots, right? Plus free will. You have no rules at free will, do you? Right, prodigal son story. Do you? And when you figure out what you're doing isn't working out, come on back, baby. Simple as that. It's not like, where are we going with this? Right? That's the Father to me. That's a creator to me. I'm not following no damn creator that's killing people, diseasing people, killing a whole nation. That doesn't make sense. He's the reason why they're all here too. So now, so what you're saying is you're a lesser God because now you're like you got to correct your mistake. Right, that's almost like the God in the Bible. He had to correct the mistake. So now, where He's telling you have free will to do whatever, right? Do you have free will? Do you, right? Even if He gave but just don't eat from that tree. It was more probably like, don't eat from that tree because you're not ready yet. If it was like the true Father's intention. But hey, if I'm following a great, powerful God that's the creator of all things, then guess what? I'm pretty sure He didn't make a mistake. In the Garden of Eden story, acts like that God made a mistake, and then He had to fix His mistake, right? And it also says in the same concept of that story that God can't be represented as anything. So how is God walking in the garden? Right? You're not paying attention to the story if you believe in these stories, right? And I used to believe in the story, but things didn't make sense, right? Because things aren't really broken down in the story. And why would God just want us to have bits and pieces? Right? That's the world that wants you to have bits and pieces, because if you recognize the truth, their systems would just fall. You wouldn't even have to fight. You wouldn't have to throw a hand. You wouldn't have to punch nobody. You wouldn't have to send off a rocket. You wouldn't have to do anything. All you would have to do is love the creator of life and love all the life that we share. And I'm going to end it with that. Okay? I'll probably be back on in a couple days. I just really want to emphasize in the next few videos, just who we are, right? What are we really trying to free our minds from? Just so you can grasp into that concept, right? Like I said, I got a playlist. Look at the playlist. Is The Truth Will Set You Free. It's a bunch of different people from different walks of life. Check them out, right? You're not going to be this. I promise you, you will not be there. I'm not going to send you somewhere that you're going to be like, what? No, give it all a chance too. It might be something you're like, oh my God, what is this? Give it a chance. That's why I put mostly the videos that are short, because I'll watch as long as I don't care. I binge watch the shit out of things. I'll watch a 20-hour video. I don't care. If it's got something, if I'm listen, I don't watch three-hour videos straight, just the air balloons, the GoPro balloons on the high altitude balloons that just go up into space. So, and I like watching every minute, every second, because I want to see if there's an edit. I want to see. I like seeing them launched, and I like seeing them fall. Okay, I like seeing them launched up, and I like seeing them fall, and especially if they got different angles. I want to see up. I want to see left and right. I want to see straight. I want to see these things, so I will watch a video. So I put some short videos so you can just get the concept, and maybe you start listening to them, right? Like I said, look up that useful charts. That dude is good. I like that dude. He like I watched a video of him today, and he's a reformed Jewish guy, and I think he married into the Judeo religion. So he does believe in God, and coming from a Jewish background, he doesn't even believe. He'll tell you that Moses, there's no evidence that Moses existed. He's a legend, right? Buddha existed. There's historical evidence. There's a lot of evidence, and it's 200 years, right? The first stuff you starts hearing about Buddha is 200 years, and it was a king that put it on a post. So, and that's what I mean by we don't have originals. So you caught that, right? So Buddha is proven to have existed. The reason why is because the earliest thing they have that mentions Buddha is 200 years from when he lived, and it was a king, so a royalty in this. He was the first king to unite all these little kingdoms where Buddha grew up, and he put it on a boast mentioning Buddha and his journey and the stuff that he did. But that's 200 years from when Buddha existed. Just like with Jesus, there's 63 years on average of witness account, so to speak, right? Not Paul. I think Paul's writings are like 30, maybe 30 years, right? He was writing during the time. So, but the oldest copies they have comes from like in the after the first century or something. Moses, he's 1,000 years removed from from when he existed to anyone mentioning him. Muhammad, 8 years. Muhammad, 8 years. But see, you could look. So if you looked at it like this, right? Because I think Buddha was after Moses. So if you look at it like this, Moses from 2,200 years or something like that, BCE. Even though there's some days that date him at 1,200 BCE. So let's say 1,000 semi-years, right? BCE. So Buddha existed after him. Then Jesus after him. And then Muhammad. But if you look at it, you can see how Moses so far removed, right? And then at all time we got Buddha, and it's getting a little closer in as far as history. Right, and then you get to like Jesus, and it's closer. It's getting closer. You get to Muhammad. Now it's 8 years. That's how they perfected the systems, right? Because look, I didn't even know most of the Old Testament was written in Greek of what we have today. Okay, so the original that we have today comes from Greek translation. Most of the Jewish scriptures were written after the time. Right, like I've been searching, man. The closest I got is 2 BC of writing of anything. I think Moses was I guess it was oral tradition, but I don't see that. Because how does Moses write 5 books, but he don't tell none of the other people how to read and write like that? Come on, and they were all Egyptians, so Like people don't catch on. Like if those people were enslaved in Egypt for the lowest number I seen was 200 and something years, and then the top number from the Bible was 430 years, and then another 70 years that they spent in Babylon, and then there's even another mathematical thing going on there because you're supposed to minus years for the tribulation. That's how you know it's wrapped around bullshit. That's how you know it's wrapped around bullshit. Bottom line, the truth of the matter is, Jesus said it. Love the Creator. Love the Creator of life. Love all the life that we share, which is your neighbor. Who's your neighbor? Who else is my neighbor? Even your enemy is your neighbor. That's your neighbor. Everybody that's around you is your neighbor. Your neighbor is next to you. Your neighbor is in your house. Your neighbor is across the street. Your neighbor's in the same city, town, state, country, ocean, everywhere. Right? That's your neighbor. Everywhere's your neighbor. And that's waking up. Truth, freeing your mind, that's a step. Right? You got to realize that you are as everyone else. You are no one, but yet someone. And when you realize you're no one, it's just like sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. Right? Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing, especially when you're frustrated or angry or your emotions are like boiling up inside you. Just turn away and walk away. It'll be more worth it that way. Right? Other than that, you're just going to become a puppet on a string and regret everything you did. Or become so cold-hearted that you're just going to keep it pushing. And then your end is just going to be your end. And you're going to accept that end. Right? Like blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is knowing what's right, but yet you're doing nothing. Right? Just like the parable I always say about the bully, and he's bullying the kid, but one of his friends feels something like, hey, man, this shouldn't be going down. The bully has respect for that guy, his friend. So if his friend was to say, hey, man, leave him alone, guess what would happen? If the popular kids in school started hanging out with the misfits in school and treating them like they're people too, then we wouldn't have half the problems we have in the society. Because what does high school really do? It just prepares you for the world. It prepares you to accept authority, accept that you may have gotten the answer, but you didn't do it our way. That's what it's all about. Right? That's the whole schooling process. The whole schooling process is to make sure that you're ready to go into the world and just accept it for what it is. Not look at it differently, not say, hey, I question this. They don't even want it. Curiosity kills a cat. They just don't tell you the rest of that statement. They leave it at they killed the cat. So if you want to be curious, the cat got killed by being curious. No. Curiosity killed the cat, but once his curiosity got fulfilled, he went on to be curious about something else. And that's the whole story. All right? But I'm going to end it with that because I'm trying to keep these videos at like an hour or less. So I'm going to end it with that. I love you guys. Peace be with you. Let's like, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. We're gonna, coming soon. Hopefully in the near future, we're gonna be doing some Zoom things and stuff where we're gonna talk together because that's always awesome. I always like conversation. So I'm working on a few things. All right, and this channel is all about truth. Okay, I'm making a new movement of the 0%. Right? Not that I even want to put a title on anything. I don't want to put a title on, but I'm the 0%. I'm no one. I'm starting a no one movement. I'm no one, but yet I'm someone. Okay? I'm no one, but yet I'm someone. You're no one, but yet you're someone. Right? You're somebody, you're anybody, you're everybody, and you're nobody. Once you grasp that, then those ears to hear and those eyes to see will be opening up, and you'll be like just walking and just seeing it for what it is. Right? A good example of that is like, everyone has shady people in their life, right? And instead of confronting these shady people in my life, I just let them be them. Because who am I to tell them to take the stick out of their eye when I have my own plank, maybe, right? I'm not here to judge anyone. Okay. And when the truth is, when you find out true truth, especially in a Jesus case, you're going to be judging yourself. You're that son that has authority to judge you, and you're judging yourself throughout this life. That's why you go through bad times and good times, because you're the one that causes this drama. And like, I know people ain't gonna understand that, but you're the one that causes all your drama in your life. I swear, I promise you. No matter what it is, no matter what it is. I'm telling you, I look back at my life and the situations that I've been in. Right? Not to get too I got almost kidnapped a few times when I was a kid. Okay, I wish my mom was still alive. She'll tell you all about, but my sister knows. So, and that happened like 2 or 3 times. Okay, I done got my head split open, like from a horsey, like back in the day, horsey swings in the park. I was 4 years old, iron horsey, because they didn't make the plastic stuff they make today. Iron, right in my head, scalp, right? And I didn't even cry or nothing. I went to my mom, blood shooting out of my head and stuff. And when she started crying, I just, why, mom, are you crying? And then it made me upset, right? But we're all, we're all in the same boat. We're all in this world, right? And listen, my focus is to get to the next step, right? We already know this is a temporary world. So what is the purpose of being here? The purpose of being here is to getting something right then, to learning a lesson, right? What can that lesson possibly be? How could you live eternity thinking the way we think, right? Imagine everyone in the world just moved on, right? We died, we all die, and we move on to the next phase of the world, and it's the same fucking way. What's the point, right? Listen, this is hell that we live in. Hell is described where people gnash their teeth, get sick, die. All the descriptions of here and now, of what are the dimension, the realm, the world that we're in. This is hell. And where are we trying to get to then? We're trying to get to that peaceful place, right? Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those that seek righteousness. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness. Blessed are those. You know what? When Jesus said that in Matthew, the blessed be, that beatitudes, that explains everyone. Right? Even to the peaceful protesters like Martin Luther King. No violence. He's going to walk, get his ass whooped, and he's going to keep walking. Right? To the people that go to war with other countries for ideologies and stuff like they're peacekeepers. They just don't comprehend. They're in error of the fact that the way they're going would never bring peace. Right? Even in superheroes and villains, if the superhero keeps whipping the villain's ass, there's going to be another villain that comes up to whip the superhero's ass. And then vice versa, then there's going to be another superhero come and try to whip his ass. And then another one is going to come on the villain side and try to whip his ass. It's just inevitable. Boop, 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 boop. Right? It's almost like the yin and the yang on some balance. But it's not really a balance. It's a correction of error. Negative and positive. There's a negative and positive on everything electric or battery operated. Right? So what does that mean? You need positive and negative to run energy. Period. So that's why negativity just needs to be corrected. And corrected in a way, because some shit that you think is evil and wrong, it's not to that person that did it. Right? You don't know their life. You don't know their story. Right? You only really know what's being said. And that's real, right? Anything that ever O.J. Simpson or the girl that killed her baby, no matter whatever is the mainstream, right? It's really just for ratings, and we sit there and watch the court case. We don't really know the truth of the facts. We don't really know the true story. We're like the jury sitting on the stand and hearing this information the first time, and now we're gonna pass judgment without knowing anything about this person's life, right? So you just can't judge people. Right, and that's being free. If you want to be free, that's the life you got to live. You got to free non-judgment, unconditional love for all and everything. These are things that have to be considered and done. There's no shortcuts, right? This ain't college and you got a term paper and there's some cliff notes. This ain't going down like this, right? Bear your own cross. Jesus didn't say I went on this cross to die for your sins. He didn't even say that. And like I keep saying, how is that possible if you know you're going to die and you know you're coming back? Right? What is the incentive? Then was it a game? Was it a trick? Like, did we cheat? Like, come on. So you got to keep looking at it until you figure out what the truth is. The truth, listen, if you pray to the Father and say, Father, I know you created me. Right? And I'm not giving you like, no, don't walk like church and Jesus coming to my life thing. Just Father, amen. Creator, help me. Help me to understand you. And really mean it. And the only way you're going to prove to him that you mean it is by letting everything else go. Right? Listen, honestly, I could get in a car accident or someone right now, just where it's parked, somebody could come crash into my car. And I wouldn't even care. It could be total. Whatever. Well, I'd be like, in situations where I may need a car, I'm like, oh, that sucks. Okay, yeah, it may. It may. But what am I like? I just got to move on. Like, I've had car situations in my life where the Father gave me a car. I tell you that much. All of a sudden, I got a car. So like things happen. The Father is in everything and everything is in him. So we got to start living that way. Right. And if he's a forgiving, loving God, he's not going to contradict himself first and foremost. And he's not going to need a blood sacrifice for his creation. Make sense? Right. All the gods of the world need blood sacrifice. Not the Father of all things. That's not. He created all things to enjoy, experience, be fruitful, be abundant, right? Like to help everyone. Like we're all in it together, right? Satan's sin is because he wants to be above everything else, nothing else. Just because he wants to be above everything else, and that's a process. There's a step. They do certain steps to it. If you decide to be a drug dealer, don't get mad when you get busted, robbed, or shot at, right? Because this is the game you're playing. This is where you're going into. Don't get mad about it. Hey, be a true drug dealer and have a lawyer on gap, pay a retainer in case you get locked up, have some money stashed in the safe for bail money. Like you got to be prepared. Don't go into shit half-ass. But that's what our world is. Everyone goes into everything half-ass, to religion, to society in general, as far as making laws and stuff like that, like politics and government, right? There's people in the government talking shit about the government. How can the government ever change? Right? And you're still based upon an America that was in right. 4th of July is coming up, right? When they signed the Constitution and independence, even though the stuff really didn't go through until August, but they don't tell you that. Like the people didn't even start signing that until August. So I don't think it was official on July 4th. That's number one, due to history. Number two about that situation is, so that means in 1776, when we declared our independence, there was no rights for women and people were enslaved. So I'll leave it with that. Right? There were no rights for women and people were enslaved. But then people, when 9/11 happened and the Muslim thing and the people started hating Muslims all of a sudden, when that all started happening, we were mad at them because of how they treated their women. Right? Men been treating women like this whole time. That's why when Jesus hit the scene, he said, Mary Magdalene is like one of us, period. And that's why when you read her stuff, when you read the stuff accredited to her, it's even deeper than what you ever read that's coming out of that Christian book. And I'll definitely leave it with that. Wisdom and truth. Peace be with you. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Those that watch, thank you for holding in. Those that come for the first time, hey, man, subscribe. Come out. Check us out. Holla at me. Talk to me. Send me some emails. I'll send you some emails. You send me emails, I'll send you emails with some videos I watch or something like that. I always do that because I want you to see the same truth I'm seeing, right? It's for collaboration. It's for fellowship. That's why I'm doing these. These are for fellowship, right? I'm fellowship with you. Right? I'm hoping like I'm that guy that's just sitting on your couch right now, just talking shit. You're like, oh my God, here you go again. That's me. That's how my friends treat me. That's me. But I love it. I love it. That's what I'm here for. Right? That's what I'm here for. So peace be with you. Freedom fighter. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Definitely be on in the next few days. If not tomorrow, who knows? We'll see. All right. Peace.